It's time for a portfolio update. In this video, I'm going to be revealing to you Emily and my property portfolio. We're going to be running through the purchase price, the renovation costs, the current valuations, and our plans moving forward with our property portfolio. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to reveal some exciting numbers and some very exciting news about some big next steps in our property portfolio journey. Now, my name's Luke and I talk all things real estate, renovating, and financial freedom on the channel. And I try to be very transparent on this channel. We try to share the numbers, we try to share the cash flows, the renovations, and give you a realistic view of what we're doing in our property portfolio year to year. So if you could do me a huge favor and drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel down below, that would really mean a lot to me. Now it's time to go back to the start of our property portfolio, and we're gonna break down the numbers property by property for you. So the very first property in our portfolio was on the north side of Brisbane. We purchased property number 1 in 2018, and you've probably heard me talk a lot about this property on the channel, so I won't go into too much detail today. But the high level numbers is that we purchased the property for $801,500, and we spent around $75,000 on the renovations on this home. We lived in the house for about 2 to 2.5 years, and we house hacked while we lived there. We renovated the home and we rented out some extra bedrooms for some additional income. Now, we still hold our very first property in our portfolio, and we never plan to sell this asset. It's only a few kilometers north of Brisbane CBD in a really blue chip location. It's had some significant growth over the last few years, and the current valuation is $1,650,000. If you look at the cost base between the original purchase price and our renovation costs, the property has increased by $773,500, which is an 88% uplift in the last 6 years. This property has enabled us to refinance and pull out equity and continue growing our property portfolio. And that's exactly what Emily and I did. So in 2020, we purchased the Baby Queenslander, which was a big renovation series for us on YouTube because it was our first renovation series, where we showed you our DIY renovations, ran you through the numbers, and we just sold that property and we shared a recent video breaking down the sale proceeds of that place. Now, we made a capital gain around that $300,000 to $350,000 in selling our property number 2 just this year. And we've recycled the cash from the sale of the Baby Queenslander to use those funds on our current own home, which is this place, the Gable Queenslander. Now, we purchased this home for $681,000, and it was property number 3 in our portfolio. We purchased the property in September 2020, and we've spent around $700,000 to $750,000 on the renovations over the years. We did an initial renovation and we've just completed a major renovation on the property, and we're going to be dropping an entire YouTube series showing you the renovations and breaking down the property costs for you in detail later this year. So that should drop around August, September, and I'm really excited to be sharing the new renovation series with you here on the YouTube channel. Now, because we've done these major renovations, the property's value has increased significantly. The original home was 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, no car essentially, and we've gone from that to a 5-bed, 3-bath, 2-car carport with a swimming pool and a shed, and we've added value significantly to this home. Now, the plan for this property is for it to be our forever home. We don't plan on selling this place in the next 10 to 20 years. We plan on living here for a long period of time, which is why we spent so much time and effort renovating this home to make it our own. The great thing about spending money on our own home is we've been able to increase the value significantly. And I think the valuation sits somewhere between 2.2 to 2.4 million at this point in time. But let's use for today's calculations $2,250,000 as the value of the Gable Queenslander on the south side of Brisbane. When you take into account the original purchase price and the major renovation expenses to create this property as it stands today, we're looking at a gain of $819,000. Now, I can't go out and use this money unless I draw it as debt against my own home. And that's part of our plans moving forward. We're going to leverage off of this property to draw down some more debt and use those funds to buy additional assets. And that's exactly what we did to buy property number 4. We leveraged off our first home, the Baby Queenslander and the Gable Queenslander to pull out $250,000 from each of those properties, giving us $750,000 of cash in our bank account when I was at the age of 27 and Emily was 25. And that enabled us to purchase the $1.4 million unit block in Coffs Harbour, New South Wales. Now, with the Coffs Harbour unit block, we purchased it at an online auction, and there's a house at the front and 3 units at the back. We've actually spent around about $100,000 renovating the property over the last few years because we purchased this property in 2021. We've upgraded kitchens, we've repainted some of the apartments, we've added carpet, we've had the roof redone, we've had the gutters done, we've had some general maintenance and air cons added to the property. We've really tried to invest in the property because we want our tenants to stay long term and we want the rents to increase towards a market rate for those styles of property. This has been part of our strategy to add value to each of the properties that we've bought to increase the value and allow us to grow our asset base faster. So the current valuation of the property is around $1.85 million, up to about the $2 million mark. But to be on the conservative side, let's add into our calculations $1,850,000. And if you look at a cost base of $1.5 million, that gives you growth of $350,000 on our Coffs Harbour unit block. So based on the current bank valuations that we've got across our 3 properties that we still own, we have $5,750,000. Now, the current LVRs on properties 1, 3, and 4 are 61%, 31%, and 59% respectively. So with our investments sitting around 60% debt and our own home sitting around that 30% debt mark, there's room for us to increase the debt back towards the 80% LVR mark, pull out all the additional available cash, and use those funds for future purchases. And that's exactly what we are doing. We just purchased a property last weekend at auction on the north side of Brisbane. I'm going to be dropping another major renovation series at the end of this year or early next year, showing you the entire process in detail about why we bought this property, how we're adding value to it, and we're even adding a granny flat to boost the cash flows on this next investment. Now, I don't want to give you too much away, but let me break down for you the high level numbers of this purchase on the north side of Brisbane. So the purchase price is $640,000. And we actually bought this property at auction, and it was quite competitive because, as you can expect, there's a lot of competition here in the Brisbane market at this point in time. The property is actually located in Moreton Bay Regional Council, roughly around 22 to 25 kilometers from Brisbane CBD. So this is a new purchase for us in 2024, and we're planning on spending around $125,000 on the renovations. Around $35,000 is going to go towards the house reno, and then the remaining funds, about $80,000 to $90,000, are going to be spent on the granny flat conversion, and we'll show you that space down the track so you can get a realistic view of what that actually looks like. So based on the initial purchase price and the renovation costs, we're looking at around $765,000 being all in on this new property purchase. Now, I expect the market value to be around that $850,000 post these renovations, but to be conservative, let's say the valuation's around $825,000. So looking at those numbers, that means we're creating some instant equity of around $60K by going through this renovation project. And we're going to be positively geared because we have both a house and a granny flat bringing in cash flow on this next purchase. So if the current portfolio sits around that $5,750,000, the total portfolio value after this next property purchase and the renovations will bring us to around $6,575,000. It is going to increase our debt as we're looking to finance and leverage the funds available or the equity available in our other properties to do this next purchase and the next renovations. And we're actually looking to continue to grow and expand from here. The plan for Emily and I is to grow the property portfolio to around the $10 million mark. Now that might seem a little crazy to some of you guys out there, but I think it's more about getting the snowball effect. Now we have lower LVRs and we have a lot of equity and we have a skill set in adding value to properties and finding gems in this Southeast Queensland market. That's where we're going to spend our focus over the next 6 to 12 months. We don't want to buy high risk projects. We don't want to bring properties into our life that are going to give us headaches that we can't control and manage. And that's why we're buying these renovation projects, knowing our due diligence, knowing our numbers, knowing we can add value and have significant positive cash flow after doing all of this work. And that's the plan for us moving forward. If you'd said to me back in 2018 that Emily and I would have created around a $5.7 to $6.5 million portfolio by 2024, I would have told you you were dreaming. But I think the big difference between 2018 me and 2024 me is that we've been willing to take action every step along the way. We've continued to work with brokers and banks to boost our borrowing capacity and grow the property portfolio. We've continued to add value. We've continued to look for deals that made sense for our specific property portfolio. We've also grown our asset base and focused on balancing now with cash flow as well as capital growth. This property investment portfolio for us is a journey. It's not just an end destination. Yes, we are creating more financial choices in our life, and we're looking to help others do the same if you're looking to buy a property here in Southeast Queensland. So if you want to sit down and have a chat with myself, head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in a free session. The big thing for me is that you guys get value out of this. Whether you decide to just consume free content on YouTube, or you want to use our education course around buying and building a multi-million-dollar property portfolio, or you want to use the full buyer's agency services and work with me and the team to help you secure a property here in Southeast Queensland. Whichever avenue you choose, either the free information on YouTube, our course, or our buyer's agency services, the biggest thing for me is that I want to be bringing you guys value. So I hope you've really enjoyed seeing the breakdown of our real numbers in our current property portfolio. I can't wait to share with you the next renovation series on this own home and our next investment property. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.